Sheriff, let's talk about Chrissy Paget.
Yes.
She was obviously instrumental in training for the Florida Man Games Brawl of the Badges event.
Yes, which was awesome.
And she just got a special honor from Guns N' Hoses, right?
Yeah, she did. So, Chrissy Pageant, she started with the San Jose Beach Police Department. I was the chief over there, of course. Yeah. And she came in and she's like, she wants to do something else, outside of law enforcement. So I said, what do you do? She said she kickboxes.
Okay.
At the time, she was they danced. She was in a dance crew or club, something like that, too. Time.
I think high kicks were involved.
Yeah, I assume, yes. And she was a dancer at University of Florida when she was going to college there.
Okay.
So the kid's just a stud. But anyway, so she came in and she said she was in kickboxing. I said, what about, Guns N' Hoses? I don't know about that. I don't box. I kick, kickbox kind of thing. Anyways, long story short, we kind of reassigned her to the fight house up in Jacksonville. She became the Guns N' Hoses champ.
Yeah.
Her first fight was against a firefighter named Jamie, who was undefeated. And they had a draw. I thought Chrissy pulled it up. That was her first fight on that level. So after that, she went and we kind of brought her around the state of Florida and kind of kicked butt. It was kind of cool.
She became a star in the boxing
she's a
ring,
stud.
man.
The kid's a stud. And her beautiful wife, Corinne, is just a special person. So anyway, so they inducted her into the Hall of Fame just this past Guns N' Hoses a few weekends ago, which is a big to-do.
That's big.
Yeah,
that is
so they had it
deal.
at the University of North Florida. We were up there with, of course, her mom and her family and her wife, and just a good kid. Chrissy Pageant, special person. She now is one of our trainers in our fight house here. All of our people go through level 1 and 2 of jiu-jitsu now because we're kind of getting away from, let's go back to old school kind of thing of doing some control.
Rocky Balboa style.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The other day I had to laugh because I walked in there and her and Brett Edens, who's one of he's the master of our fight house here, and they were on the ground rolling in there. I'm like, my goodness gracious. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. But she's just a good kid. I'm proud of her and proud of her family, of course, and her wife. That's amazing. And so she's in the Hall of Fame up there. So big news. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
She's great.
Yeah,
she was
she is.
instrumental in that.
She is. She
event
works so
at
hard
Florida
behind the
Games.
scenes too in the Brawl of the Badges. And
yeah, man.
Going forward here too. I mean, she's like the Trey basically. She's our production person,
Yeah.
So she did a phenomenal job, and she's a talented kid. And even though she's a Florida Gator, she's a good kid.
Oh wow! Had to throw that in there. Had to throw that in there.
I paid the bills to Florida State University. I had no choice. I got a root.
You're totally locked in out there. Yeah. Shelled out enough money for that.
Yeah,
man.
But thanks for actually bringing that up. Appreciate it.
So I got a related. You guys coming back for evading arrest obstacle course next year? Florida Man Games?
We're in.
Whoa, cool.
Those deputy sheriffs are so excited. Mike Attell, of course, and Miggs.
Yeah.
And now Deputy Attell actually works directly for the office of the sheriff. And Deputy Miggs got a Deputy of the Year, Rookie Deputy of the Year. Yep. And then the female, too, Danielle Giroux, she now works. She came out of our DEI unit. She actually works in my office of the sheriff now, too, as well. But we're all in, brother.
That's awesome. I got to tell you, we saw the video you guys released, the helicopter video of the guy who tried to run from you guys a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got out and started running, I was like, oh no, these guys are good at this. He ain't getting nowhere.
Oh my God, it was a rocket ship. That was a rocket ship. I think it was Tanner Oglesby that actually chased him down, or Adam.
He was so fast.
He was so fast, he actually overran him.
Right. Yeah, he did overrun him.
So it's funny you said it because you go back now to the helicopter. That's that tool we have to have.
Right.
Because as you see, our deputy sheriffs backed off to let that car drive like an idiot. And our helicopter unit never lost it.
Right.
And then also, too, it captures at the end, too, because we did find some additional evidence, of course, based on the helicopter video, too, as well.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the 1969. That's the Vietnam helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the one we were loaning out for the traffic report.
We got no choice right now. We got to fly the old one. But anyways, the new ones, the newer one's getting a paint job, actually. So, but anyways, just that's our task force guys. You're going to see a bunch of unmarked white cars out there that actually glow green at the bottom. And that's our task force people. So they're working our high crime areas, our areas of interest, meaning if we're going to have, if we're finding stolen cars or people coming through the county from other jurisdictions are coming through here, then there's something going on, probably social media wise. So they're really hitting 95 with traffic interdiction, with human interdiction, sex traffic interdiction, drugs, guns. So those unmarked white cars, which you saw in that video. And then it was funny because as the thing panned out, the white cars were gone. It was deputy sheriff cars. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I'll give that shout out to Tanner Oglesby. He's a rocket ship.
That was impressive.
Yeah, them boys have been training in there.
Impressive.
Yeah, them boys have been training.
Septimus Prime is no match.
Oh, yeah. Septimus was that
known
guy's
Septimus his whole life.
Have you really?
Oh, my God, Septimus
this is
Connor.
sad then. Come on,
man.
man.
It's one of those things of the day, and I'm going to eventually go by in the jail and see him go, come on, man. But he's been an entrepreneur. A salesman, salesman for a majority of his adult life, and he's going to serve some time on this one.
So many of those people, I grew up with a couple salesmen too.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
But when a lot of those people transition into legitimate work, boy, are they good at legitimate work.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just getting out of that. It's just getting out of that mindset of I have to do illegal things to survive.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I'm sure, you go over in our reentry program now and you talk to people that are out there now that are actually working going, this is just as much an adrenaline rush that you can do it legally, not to worry about your door getting kicked in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't want to say who he was because he's still in my jail because he's I used to play football with him and he's in our county jail. And the other day he said, Sheriff, I'm not gonna lie, he goes, I never seen you guys so good at car chasing and foot chasing before. He goes, you guys are good in St. John's County, so we're practicing. It's like a football team getting ready for the playoffs.
Right? Yeah, man.
So what
men and
happens
women
with like innocent people in a chase like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like he hit two cars.
Yep.
What happens to those two cars? I always wanted to ask you that.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
in
good
the
question.
commission of a felony, he can be charged for any of, and unfortunately too, this happens too, is let's just say, God forbid, and I hope it doesn't happen in my career, but that where he's running from the law enforcement and he hits an innocent person going through and kills him, let's say, or serious bodily injury, he can be charged with his actions caused that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he'll be charged with all those crimes too as well.
I still have to drive a broken car until we get paid. Like, how does that happen?
You do, pretty much.
It really does. It works just like any other insurance claim would work with a
gracious.
crit check. I mean, we help a lot of people too because
I'm sure.
sometimes people just do stupid things, and we got to help people that just can't afford to. But we help a lot of people. But in that situation, those cars just go through a normal claim as a traffic crash per se.
Okay.
Yeah, but he gets charged and actually held accountable, which way down the road when he gets sentenced or when he goes to the court system, he'll be held liable for anything that was, of course, but it takes time, of course, but he'll be held for all that doing his probationary period. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. May 20th, opioid awareness seminar out there at Fruit Cove Baptist Church.
Yep.
This happening at 6:30. How are you guys involved in this?
Yeah, so we're putting together a panel. This opioid stuff again. This is an educational piece, not just for the community, but backwards on us too as well from hearing from the community.
It hasn't gone away. We've heard a lot less about it, but the problem hasn't gone away.
I hate to say it. We like move on so quick in this country. It's like we're like it's almost like that squirrel. But we've moved on. We haven't moved on, though. No. We in the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, we in law enforcement, we are fire rescue people, we in emergency services, ERs and stuff, have not moved on. So it's an educational piece. Check onto our social media platforms and see what we got going on. We'd love to have you out there. We appreciate the Fruit Cove Baptist Church actually hosting us up there. We're going to have a panel discussion basically with our community members. We're going to share some facts and stuff that are going on, whether it's suicide related or overdose, non-fatal or fatal overdose related, and just talk about some awareness too, as far as like what ages are we seeing? We're seeing everything. It's back to that same comment I made earlier. It does not discriminate. It's every race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation, age. It's kind of crazy. So again, this is a huge organizational a piece and basically a community involvement engagement piece where we can actually discuss this together with the experts.
Fentanyl is obviously you know about this.
Sure.
Disastrous drug, and it's kind of taken center stage as far as these types of drugs are concerned. What's changed over the last few years in your department as far as how you guys approach different situations with the threat of this drug being out there in so many almost mundane situations? I mean, somebody could accidentally run into fentanyl on a traffic stop.
Yeah, we've seen videos across the country.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. When this fentanyl was created, of course, it was a time-release patch that you would cancer patients that were terminally ill.
Right.
That was kind of their pain patch. So it was a very large Band-Aid, usually like a 3x3, and you would see the gel in there as it was time release, of course, into your body through your skin. Anyways, fast forward now to where Mexico is making it more potent, more accessible, at a better cost per se, and it's. You can get it anywhere. I hate to say, but you can get it now just like you can marijuana.
Yeah.
So with that, we had to kind of adjust fire, educate our people, and I'm one of the world's worst too as well. Just put your gloves on, use the resources that we give you, the protective equipment that we give you. But I maybe this is not the way to say this, but our men and women aren't afraid. It's kind of crazy. Our deputy sheriffs aren't afraid that they're doing their job. And I honestly think we've been touching this probably our whole careers or something just like this. But we just had to educate, make sure that we have all the resources for them. And of course, we have some technology we're using now, through the DEA and our detective that works for the DEA, that you can actually put the drug on an actual surface, actually where it identifies what basically how it's made, what the components are to the actual drug in there. But, we got our dogs searching cars. We got our people in there, our human beings, and they're searching these cars. You got people that are carrying on them, but it goes back to the old loaded needle day. It's just it's no difference than the loaded needle.
Oh,
I mean, it's that same thing with that loaded needle. It's like anything in your pockets? No, not at all. Next thing you go in their pocket, and you get jabbed with a needle that's got heroin or methamphetamine or something like that.
Yeah.
So again, we're just trying to do the best we can with providing the resources that we have, of course, and educating our deputy sheriffs and making sure they do the first report of injury, of course, and this stuff when they're exposed to it. But I think we're all exposed to it, meaning that we all are.
Yeah.
I think it's everywhere. And I think it's almost as prevalent as the old marijuana days. And I think people are handling it and they're touching us, they're shaking our hands, they're using a gas pump. I mean, I think it's out there more prevalent than what we know.
That's why your
that's
uniform is
interesting.
polyester.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you.
Absorb it. Yeah.
Thank you, Davey.
Cotton will let it.
It's like fire retardant, but it's not.
Now I'm even more afraid to go to the gas pump. As if prices
seen me-
were
have you seen me at a
scaring
gas
me
pump?
enough.
And I'm not that guy either. I mean, I walk
Yeah.
my jail. I search
tell
through
me,
my
what
whole
do you
life.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, I get the paper towel out.
Do you really?
I even touch the buttons
Bro,
now.
I'm doing that forever now. Yeah, I'm doing that
My wife
forever
said the other
now.
day, she goes, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing. I don't know."
It's the
She
right
goes, "You have
move.
worked in the most nastiest places of the world,
Yeah.
foreign countries." I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, but now I see things clearer.
I see things way clearer from the show. Thank you for
So I'm
telling
telling
me.
you, you'll see me get out of my car. I've even had that stupid plastic glove on, and then I'll see somebody I know. I'm like, "How you doing over there? How you doing? Yeah. Just go to the doctor's office. Just go."
That's hilarious.
I'm that guy. I'm a germ. My wife is a germ freak.
Good. She's
Really?
a nurse. She should be.
Yeah.
I know.
She's seen
the
seen
one.
enough.
She's the one that goes to the hotel room with the Clorox bleach wipes.
Oh, yeah.
It's the doorknob. It's the light switches. Nothing can be touched until
yeah.
she's finished.
Okay.
Blacklight
So,
the bed.
so if you rent those beautiful
Smart.
hotel rooms with like the nice little patio
You'd be
jacuzzi out
surprised,
there,
yeah.
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere near that damn thing.
Never get into a jacuzzi, period.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. It's like beautiful room with a jacuzzi. Don't touch it, husband.
No,
Yeah.
it's like baking
Yeah.
flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Well,
Sheriff Hardwick.
From fentanyl to that.
Yeah, there
perfect.
you go. Wow,
Yeah.
hard turn there.
If I can just mention one more thing. So, as everybody knows, of course, Sergeant Michael Kunovich, died last year in the line of duty on May 19th of 2003. This is National Police Week Memorial up in Washington, D.C.
Oh,
So
right, yeah.
some of his family members, his son Mike and Max, and his ex-wife Michelle will be up there, of course, along with our representatives, paying their respects, of course, to the Kunovich family and the other people that, of course, are being added to the wall this year. So just thoughts and prayers, of course, for not just us, but the entire nation, of course, that suffers when an officer dies in line of duty. It's always a story, too. It's like, just like Mike Kunovich, he's got two sons, Mike and Max. Mike, Mike's in college, and Max is getting ready to graduate high school next year, and ex-wife Michelle, just beautiful family. But it seems like it's always that story. Like even last weekend, like I think it's called the Sakattin Win. Anyway, it's in Utah. It's a police department. And a guy's named Sergeant Hoosier, Hooser. He was backing up backing up a trooper on a traffic stop. He works for a city police department. This tractor trailer was wanted for some type of crime. The tractor trailer does a U-turn and turns back around and comes at him and charges him and kills this deputy sheriff. Jeez. So here's the typical story. He leaves behind his wife, 2 daughters, and a granddaughter. It's the same story every single time. But anyways, just thoughts and prayers for
tragic
National
every
Police Week.
single
It is,
time.
and
It's
it's
horrible
not
every
just
single
our
time.
profession, but it just happens to be that we honor ours this weekend. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Sheriff. Sheriff Hardwick. Always a great show when you come in. Always very
Incredible.
informative and insightful. Thank
Appreciate
you so
y'all
much,
too,
sir.
bro.
We
Yeah.
appreciate
I feel like I
time.
talked the whole show. Is it just me?
No, you were great though.
That's why we like having you here.
Trey's asleep back there. I heard him. Trey's like, geez, this guy doesn't shut
You
up.
can't sleep through these. You
doesn't
cannot sleep
this
through
guy does
these.
not
I
shut
promise
up.
you that.
Appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend.
Thank you,
And I
Sheriff.
appreciate your support of us and our agency and what we
Yes,
do.
sir.
Thank y'all. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.